Welcome back to Trogly's Guitars, Troglodytes! Yes, I got another one of these. After saying that these are really hard to find, usually whenever a rare guitar gets listed, there's like 2 or 3 that follow because somebody has one and they didn't realize they were worth so much. So this is kind of one of those ones that followed. This is the 70s reissue of the 60s Melody Makers. Now, if you've been watching my channel, last week I did a wine red version of this, and when I saw this tobacco one that was, for the most part all original, I knew I had to get it to see how these actually sound. Now, the original pickups on these do say Gibson on them in kind of a script font, similar to the pre-war style Gibson logo, and similar to in 1972 when they did the embossed pickups. But this is a 74-75. This actually has a pretty rare serial number. It was around 1974, 1975 when Gibson kind of experimented with a leading letter and then some numbers, serial numbers. I had one of the first artisans made that had that type of serial number. This is the second Gibson that I've ever had that has that serial number font. So this is a very early reissue of the Melody Maker. And I'll say that this is probably the one you want over that wine red one, unless you really want wine red, because for the most part it's all original. Somebody went through the entire cavity and shielded it with that shielding tape stuff, and for whatever reason they flipped all of the controls here. So usually this is bridge pickup, but it still selects bridge pickup, but your controls are opposite. So normally it'd be here, your bridges are actually the top ones. So that's a little confusing, you just need to rewire it a little bit, but besides that, the thing is stock and in pretty good shape, really. I wouldn't quite call it collector's condition unless you can spare some of the small details. So if you missed my last video, what makes this different between a 60s one? Slightly larger nut width, so a wider neck, longer headstock. The pickups definitely sound better in these reissues ones than the 60s. And instead of a wraparound tailpiece, you have that. I think I might do a complete comparison video, so we'll go more on it over there. We'll take a look at the condition of the guitar here. You can see you've got a few light dings along the edges and some just string change wear. Overall, nothing too incredibly bad. Got some light wear on the sides of the guitar as well, so it's not mint condition. I wouldn't say it's trashed, it's just kind of in that lightly played shape. You have your original very dark rosewood fretboard that I really enjoy looking at. You've got some minor fret wear. I mean, there are some small divots, but overall it's still playable. The frets are very, very, very low. You might get one more level recrown out of them. After that, it's probably time to replace them. But if you do ever replace the frets on this guitar, I can guarantee you'll have an awesome player. Because a little bit taller would be nice, because the bends, they're still possible, but you're really dragging against the fretboard. The body is a beautiful tobacco sunburst finish. As you can see, you've got some light nicks and dings and scratches as we run the light over it. But again, it's a clean player. I mean, not trashed, not mint. Just a good player. So once again, original electronics, just kind of shielded and wired up a little differently. But you do have the cool witch hat knobs. These things are worth a fortune. Like, you can sell these little knobs for like $200 because people need them for their flying V's to restore them. And there weren't too many models in the 70s that got these. So having these witch hats are awesome. Stock, tailpiece, and bridge. We'll take a look at the back. Once again, funky serial number on this one, shortly lived, C924, it looks like 49, made in USA. These do have a volute that the 60s don't have. And you can see the wood's a slightly different color. It's kind of like a koa color. That's just how the wood is, because it is a 3-piece mahogany neck. And this is kind of from the time frame when Gibson was switching over to maple. You can see the original Gibson Deluxe tuners. They've got some pitting and tarnishing to them, but they definitely show their age. Now here, you're gonna say, hey, that's a headstock repair. It's not. I was a little bit worried at first myself too, but you can actually see this on a few different areas on this guitar where the wood grain just kind of has like, I don't know if like the filler they were using was weird or if the wood grain just is like that. But that is not a repair. I've blacklighted it, it's all good. It is a solid piece there. Because something else that kind of sells it for you that's not a repair is it stops at the end of that piece, because this is the new piece right here and that doesn't continue there. So that was likely just a ring of some sorts. You can see other evidences of kind of weird wood grain on this guitar. The next ones that I remember right now is kind of in these cutaway areas right there. It's on both sides. So the neck is 60s in style. You don't have a lot of wear and tear. It looks like you get small dings there, dulling to the finish, but overall it's a wide kind of flat neck, definitely 60s styled. There are no breaks, cracks, or repairs to the heel or headstock for that matter, and the back of the guitar is in pretty good shape as well. And you do have, once you hit it in the light just right, you can see all this buckle wear kind of coming to light. We'll run it a little closer for you. So this is not collector's condition, but I would say it's a clean player's grade. Got some dings there. I wouldn't call it, trashed player's grade, like that Les Paul Standard from a week or so ago, or the Les Paul Artisan. But it's a fantastic guitar. I really do enjoy these original pickups. I mean, they're not perfect, but they're pretty good for what they are. I mean, they make a lot of different types of pickups that will fit in these original routes, if you ever decide to part with them. And I'm guessing you could probably get decent money out of these things due to their cover. We'll take a look under Blacklight here. You can see there is a little bit of discoloration there above the tuner. Not quite sure what that's about, but I guess it could be a very tiny touch-up, but I'm guessing something like a sticker was there though, because it's kind of more of a shadow. Move on to the body, you can see some of the light nicks and dings that went through the clear coat, but overall, I mean, the guitar is not in too bad of shape. I do want to point these areas out though. As I talked about earlier, it's just kind of a strange wood grain line, and it's on both sides there. I mean, what it really kind of looks like is like the wood grain filler or whatnot just ran over. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not a repair. I've looked at it closely. I don't really think it's a touch-up, but it is there. I want you to know about it. Take a look at the headstock here. Nothing too bad. We'll look in this area where that other strange wood grain is, and you can see there have been no repairs to this guitar. Got a ding through the finish there. But, for the most part, it's not too bad. The back is showing a decent amount of wear here though. And you do have some dings along the side. And there you can kind of see some more of that, so I'm not sure what they were doing on this guitar. She's nice and lightweight at 6 pounds 1 ounce. I'm still not entirely sure what the original case for these guitars were. I'm guessing it's probably just the standard Gibson one, but this is a modern aftermarket case. It's kind of beat up, but a case is a case. Got 1, 2, 3, and a 4th back latch. And this is kind of one of those ones that's kind of a slightly cheaper import. I mean, this one actually feels pretty good, but these are the ones where you put a regular Les Paul in and they slide all over the place. Luckily, that doesn't happen on this one though. Since the body's a little wider here, it really fills up that extra room and it doesn't slide around hardly at all. Up and down, it's good as well. The only thing I do note is it doesn't quite hit the neck rest. I will pack you some extra bubble wrap, but I do like that it kind of shoots it up there so the headstock's nowhere near the bottom. But due to this neck heel rest here, it is completely supported, so it's nothing to worry about. I actually am going to keep it in this case because it does protect it pretty well. For the clean tones, we'll be running through a Gibson Super Gold Tone GA30RV. For distorted tones, we'll be running through a Marshall JMP1C. Think you might be interested in owning this 1974-75 Gibson Melody Maker, feel free to contact me on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Troglys, Troglys, or check out the eBay and Reverb listings. Alright, Troglodytes, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Take care.